What's up, everybody? So after hours of waiting at the buzzer, Dana White goes live on Instagram to deliver some pretty big news. And that is the official headliner of UFC 327, Jiri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg for the light heavyweight title. What a banger of a matchup, man. Strikers delight, two very dangerous dudes, very high-level strikers. So what we're going to do is I'm going to react to the news, right? We're going to take a look at the entire card because the UFC posted the main card, the prelims. They got this card decked out, man. And I feel like it's pretty clear that this is by far the most complete card of the year so far. Like, this is the best card they put together in the Paramount era. This is how every single numbered card should look. Now, I understand some of the matchups on here. It's like, whoa, right? We got to talk about Dariush versus Torres because I don't know what Beneil Dariush did. But he might have pissed off the wrong guy or something, man, because they keep giving this dude dangerous guy after dangerous guy. And obviously, Josh Van versus Tatsuro Taira, that is an amazing fight. In the flyweight division, we got Josh Hokit moving up, so we got a lot to discuss, but there's a big elephant in the room, right? Prochazka versus Ulberg for the light heavyweight title, so that means we have a vacant 205-pound belt, and that is because Alex Pereira is going to be moving up to the heavyweight division. We're witnessing something special, man. I called it the minute this dude got signed by the UFC. I was watching him in glory, and I said, this dude is going to be something special in the UFC, right? And when he was doing what he was doing at middleweight, I'm like, wait till he goes to 205, right? And Alex Pereira, he's just been spectacular. We're witnessing something special. This is one of the greatest combat athletes of all time. Without question, one of the most dangerous strikers that we've ever seen. Right, and how fun is Peloton, man? Then now he's going up to the heavyweight division to try to become a triple champ. So we'll discuss more of that at the end of the video. I'll give my thoughts there on how I think he matches up against the potential opponents that I think the UFC is kind of looking to target here. But this is massive news, man. This is massive news. So let's talk about the main event because I'm really excited for this fight because Carlos Ulberg, you know, back when I started my channel, this was a guy that I was telling everyone to have their eye on, right? He was, training at City Kickboxing, competing in, I think it's King of the Ring, where Adesanya was doing a ton of kickboxing fights prior to the UFC. And, Ulberg is a massive dude. Like, this is no small light heavyweight. And he is a very, very high-level striker. He's got an excellent jab, really good movement, can fight very well moving forward, moving backwards, and he has very precise counter-striking. And while Ulberg did drop his debut, I think that was on the Adesanya versus Blaydes card back in the Apex, right, during the pandemic, right, where I think it was UFC 259, to where, Ulberg looked really good. He was beating up on Kennedy and Zechku, and then the gas tank let him down, fatigued, and then he got, finished by Kennedy and Zechku. But if you run that fight back, I feel like we all know that Ulberg would probably starch him in like 2 minutes. Like, Carlos Ulberg, he's a problem. Right now, I think he's riding a 9-fight win streak. So he has looked unbelievable, man. His power, his speed, and he is a true light heavyweight. And now he's going in there against Jiri Prochazka. And out of all the title fights and fights that we've seen recently, man, is there a more one-sided fight where it feels like everybody's going to be rooting for the same guy? Like, I feel like the only people really rooting for Ulberg are friends and family, man. And even at that, I feel like the friends and family are like, yeah, we're rooting for you, Carlos. And they're like, come on, Jiri, let's go for that. I'm coming. Come on, man. Like, is anybody, like, I like Ulberg, but let's be real, man. We all want Jiri to win the belt, right? Like, we're all kind of on the same page. That, like, I like Ulberg, and I'm kind of messing around a little bit. But seriously, like, it'd be great to see Ulberg get the title, but nah, man, not when Jiri is in the division. And Yuri's been beating everybody outside of Alex Pereira. He's beating everybody else. He's beating everybody else, right? The crazy fight with Jamal Hill, getting the job done, going out there, and Khalil Roundtree's kind of having success from range and picking him apart a little bit, and then Yuri's kind of finding some success and then, pours it on late and is able to get him out of there. Like, there aren't many fighters more exciting than Jiri Prochazka, and he's one of the most beloved fighters in the sport, one of the most beloved fighters of all time, and I'm a little bit worried for him in this fight. Now, I will say, early prediction, I'm leaning Jiri Prochazka, and I think that if he's going to win, I think this fight ends in a KO regardless. I think someone's getting knocked out. And Carlos Ulberg going out there and starching Dominic Reyes the way he did, it was impressive. It was impressive, and I know people kind of look to discredit it a little bit, like, oh, well, Dom Reyes, he doesn't have a chin, man, and all those kinds of things, which that is true. But for me, it's the way that Ulberg just walked him into his power, man. Set him up beautifully. And I know Ulberg, kind of put on a snoozer against Jan Blachowicz. But again, who looks good against Jan Blachowicz? It's kind of hard to do. Even Pereira struggled with Jan Blachowicz. Like, everyone struggles with Jan Blachowicz. Ankalaev, like, no one just breezes through Jan Blachowicz, right? That's just kind of the way it goes. So I give him a pass on that fight. It wasn't the most exciting. He was just kind of jabbing and leg kicking, doing what he had to do. And you could have made an argument that Jan won that fight. Right? That's literally every Jan Blachowicz fight at 205, it feels. So Ulberg, he's dangerous, man. Right? And Jiri's one of those guys where he gets a little bit reckless, right? Drops his hands, gets a little chaotic. His defense is not a strong suit, eats a shot, waves it on. Come on, man. And then, he just eats shots with his forehead. He's kind of got that herky-jerky style, man, where it looks like he's fencing a little bit, and he's wildly unpredictable. And for as hittable as he is, Jiri has got a granite chin. He's got a granite chin, right? And the only guy that's really had the answers for him is Poatan Pereira. But I'm worried because Jiri's been falling behind in some of these fights. He's getting outscored, and I get it. Well, Jiri's got the great equalizer. He can knock anybody out, and I get that. But Ulberg's not the easiest guy to hit. He's not the easiest guy to hit. So my early lean is Jiri Prochazka, because I do believe that it's going to be one of those cases where Ulberg's going to be very cautious because of the power. He's going to be jabbing, leg kicking, trying to walk Jiri into something. And then eventually Jiri's just going to say, F it, man, I'm getting picked apart from range. And then that's just where the dynamite is going to be thrown. The Jiri's going to break out the swords, the flamethrowers, and he's just going to be out there going nuts, and something is going to clip Ulberg. And that's how he's going to have to get it done. Because if this goes the distance, I think it's Ulberg outpointing him. And if Jiri does not find that KO shot, he's just going to get outscored. He's going to get outscored, and if he gets overly aggressive, I still see where Carlos can walk him into something. So this is a very fascinating fight, man. And again, it's a 5-rounder, obviously, right? Main event, big opportunity here, and I feel like everyone's rooting for you. Let's go for that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, Jiri Prochazka, one of the most beloved fighters in the sport. He's unbelievably dangerous, but we got to be real about Jiri, man. He was down against Hokit. He was getting his legs torn apart and just kind of willed his way into that fight, which is what makes Jiri so special. He can be down and you could never count him out, right? He was down a little bit against Roundtree, getting picked and poked apart. And Ulberg's got nasty leg kicks, nasty calf kicks. He's really, really fast for a light heavyweight, man. So actually, it pains me, man. I want Jiri to win, but I'll stick with my early lean for Jiri Prochazka. I got to go back and watch some more film, but I feel like Ulberg might win this fight, man. So, no, I got to switch to early lean. I'm going to lean Ulberg, man. I'm going to lean Ulberg, but I will, of course, be rooting for Jiri. And Jiri's not someone I pick against, really. The only time I can't remember how. I've definitely picked him against Roundtree and Hill. I picked Pereira against him because Pereira is a bad matchup for him. But overall, Jiri beats everybody else. And he's one of my favorite fighters in the UFC, so I hope he can get it done. But Ulberg is no slouch, man. I know Ulberg's not the most popular guy out there, but he's dangerous. He's a tactician. And when you get fighters that can fight very well moving forward and backwards, and they got power like Ulberg, and they're, a pretty stylish striker, that sometimes can be an issue for Jiri. But we've seen if you can pressure Ulberg intelligently, like that Kennedy and Zechku fight, and you can put volume on him, you can kind of melt him and get him to fatigue himself a little bit. That's, I feel like, where Jiri can capitalize. But he's got to be very, very careful because Ulberg is a sniper. He's precise. I know Ulberg, he's not the most flashy guy, and he's kind of people that dudes forget about, it seems. But, man, he's dang good. He's dang good. He's a very good striker. I got to lean. I think early lean, I'm going to switch it, man. I'm back and forth, man. I feel like this is such a good fight. It's where Jiri's going to have to KO him. I don't see a scenario to where he outscores Ulberg. I see a scenario to where Ulberg can outscore him, and then also Ulberg can walk him in to a nasty power shot. So Jiri's dangerous at all times. So is Ulberg. This is an amazing fight, man. Amazing fight. Early lean. I will say Ulberg, though, but I'm going to be rooting for Jiri. So, again, I might change my prediction again. We'll see, man. All right. So the main card, this is what we're looking at. Obviously, a banger main event. Co-main event's an amazing fight. Josh Van versus Tatsuro Taira. The improved striking, the nasty ground skills of Tatsuro Taira. Can't let him get your back, man. But we've seen Van's got good takedown defense. He's been very much improving. He's the new champ in the weight class. That fluke win over Pantoja. Not Van's fault, but let's just call it what it is. It's a fluke. I lean Joshua Van. I think he gets it done. I think he gets a late TKO stoppage over Taira. I think he sprawls and brawls, man. I think he has an answer for the grappling, keeps it on the feet, and boxes up Tatsuro Taira. But if he doesn't have an answer for the grappling of Taira, Taira's definitely going to win the fight because he's looking like a serious problem with the ground skills. But people quickly forget how Brandon Royval, he was able to, stop the grappling onslaught of Taira, keep it on the feet, and was able to tag him up, man. And look what Josh Van was able to do against Brandon Royval. And then Curtis Blaydes versus Josh Hokit. I think Josh Hokit's going to knock out Curtis Blaydes, man. Now, again, this is a tricky fight, and this is one of those situations. I love how everyone all of a sudden cares so much that Josh Hokit's getting this massive step up in competition. Now, all of a sudden, people care about the heavyweight division. Nobody cares about the heavyweight division other than the top. Stop. I'm tired of people acting like they actually care about the state of the heavyweight division outside of the top few guys. And Curtis Blaydes is the exception. How he is ranked number 4 still, I have no idea. And that's why the UFC is giving him Josh Hokit. They want Blaydes out of the top of the division. Could that be any more clear? They gave him Kuniev. I thought Kuniev won. And you'd think if they were going to rob anybody that it would be them robbing Blaydes to get him up, to get him up out of there, right? So now they're like, okay, we'll try this again. Give him Josh Hokit, right? A guy that could hopefully neutralize the grappling of Blaydes. But again, Blaydes' striking is pretty clean, man. And he's a guy that's a little bit older in his career. And normally when we see guys, especially, heavyweights that are known for the grappling, they tend to lean more towards the striking towards the later part of their career. But stop complaining and stop acting like you care so much that Josh Hokit is getting a massive step up in competition. Nobody cares about the heavyweight division, man. Let's just be honest, except for the very top of the weight class. Gane, Pereira, Aspinall, Waldo, right? The occasional Derek Lewis fight, right? I mean, Volkov, Pavlovich, there's very few guys that we truly care to see fight in the heavyweight division, right? We got some guys on the rise like Mario Pinto. He was supposed to fight, I think it was Mick Parkin, and Parkin pulled out. So I imagine Mario Pinto is another prospect that's going to get a top 5 guy next coming up. So we got a couple guys on the rise in the heavyweight division, like Walter Walker as well. But there's nothing in the heavyweight division, man. The division's stale. It's been the same guys at the top. I'm excited to see Josh Hokit. He was a dual athlete at Fresno State, wrestling, football, right? Was with the 49ers, I think, on the practice squad. He's a good athlete, good wrestler. And every single fight that he's been in, he finishes fights, man. He's got nasty ground and pound, solid submission skills. On the feet, his striking is getting better. Not an easy fight, though, against Curtis Blaydes, man. Not easy whatsoever. Blaydes is a dog. He's been around for forever, but I feel like he's slowed down just a smidge to where I think we get 2 grapplers that end up banging it out on the feet. But I'm going to side with the guy that's got all the momentum right now in Josh Hokit, man. I think he's very dangerous. But Dariush Torres, we'll talk about in just a second. I got a separate slide for that. And then Dominic Reyes versus Johnny Walker. I mean, I think this ends in a double knockout. I think they're going to land on each other and knock each other out. Now, I'm going to go Dominic Reyes. I think he snipes Johnny Walker and gets him up out of there. But Osman Mirzakhanov, Paulo Costa is a banger, man. And the more I think about this fight, I mean, I lean Osman, but I feel like there might be this case where we see the best version of Paulo Costa. I feel like he's a dude that he's got a really short reach, which is, I feel like, one of the reasons that he was fighting at middleweight all this time. But Costa's style, he's became a lot more elusive. And he looked really good against Roman Kopylov. So I know that Osman has the power, and what he did to Rakic was crazy, knocking him out with a jab. Osman's got this, short, fat man, looks like a school teacher type of build, or looks like a doctor or something. He's got this underwhelming look, but man, that dude can fight. He's a good grappler, nasty power, very light on his feet. It's a good fight. It's a banger, man. That should be on the main card, by the way. I think that should be on the main card. So excited to see Costa, 205, fresh coat of paint for him, moving up. Again, he was going to be a champ at 185. Not that he will at 205, but give him some more options here. So I lean Azamat, but I don't know, man. I feel like Costa might be really dangerous in this weight class, given his speed, his versatility, and those kicks are nasty, man. So for now, I'll say Azamat, but I don't know, man. I feel like Costa might be a different beast. 205. Patricio Pitbull versus Aaron Pico. What in the Bellator is this, man? The loser of this fight, they should send to the PFL. Aaron Pico had all that hype. They threw him in there. Completely undeserved opportunity against Lerone Murphy in a co-main event. Picked Lerone to win that fight. I mean, Pico's dangerous, but he's chinny, man. He's chinny. I early lean, I go Patricio Pitbull. Now, this is a fight that I think both of these guys wanted this to happen back in Bellator, so kind of funny that basically putting on a Bellator fight in the UFC. It's a good matchup. It should have happened a while ago in Bellator, but I lean towards Pitbull. He's a good grappler. He can stop the grappling of Pico, and then on the feet, Pitbull becomes a little bit, too stationary, taking pictures, not opening up enough, but I don't know, man. Pico got over. He was actually doing okay against Lerone Murphy, then just got overly aggressive and got walked in to a spinning elbow, but Pitbull's got some nasty power. He's got some nasty power. He looked all right against Ige. I don't know. For now, I'll say Pitbull, but I definitely see a scenario to where Aaron Pico could get it done. He's dangerous, got good power in his hands, but I feel like he's overhyped. Mateusz Gamrot, Esteban Ribovics, that's a good fight. And early lean, I mean, I feel like Gamrot can win this fight, right? His relentless grappling, I know that, he's dropped a few, right? Lost a close one to Hooker, right? Got dominated by Charles Oliveira. He's had some heres and theres, but Gamrot's a puzzle, man. He's a tough guy to deal with, and we'll see if Esteban is ready. He's going to have to be able to wrestle for 15 minutes, going to have to be able to make him pay on the feet. We'll have to see how good Esteban's takedown defense is, man, because if it's not up to par, he's just going to get controlled and out-grappled by Gamrot. That's a good fight. And then Swanson, Landwehr, banger. I think Cub Swanson knocks him out. Holland, Randy Brown's a great fight. That's a really good fight. And I side with Randy Brown. Now, if Kevin Holland actually shows up, I could see him getting it done, but I'm going to side with Randy Brown, man. I've said for a long time that at 170, when Randy Brown shows up, man, he's one of the slickest strikers in the weight class. He's got a crazy frame for the division. He's really, really fast. I like Randy Brown in that one. And it was supposed to be Daukaus versus Luque, and now it's Gastelum versus Luque. I like Gastelum. I don't like Vicente Luque at 185. Maybe it pans out for him, but I feel like Vicente Luque is a shell of himself, man. I'm moving up to a weight class where the dudes hit harder. Like, I know Gastelum's a little slower. He's got a ton of miles on him. He's got a granite chin. He's got a good ground game. I feel like he outstrikes Luque and probably hurts him on the feet. Suarez, Godinez, nobody cares. I mean, it's as simple as if Suarez can get the takedown controller on the floor and just win a boring decision, or if Godinez can stop them, she'll just pick her apart on the feet. And then I don't even know who, Francisco Prado, I know who that is. I don't even know who the other guy is. Casual, man, casual. All right, Beneil Dariush versus Manuel Torres. I said at the beginning of the video, I don't know what Benny has done, but I think he pissed off the wrong guy. It's kind of crazy that Dariush, I mean, God, man, he looks so old, dude. With that gray hair, Dariush looks like he's 50, but he's got a lot of wisdom, right? That gray hair, it means wisdom. It means you're wise. It means you're an OG. You've been around the block, man. There is nothing that Dariush could do in this fight to save himself. Like, this is literally, let's just call it what it is, man. This is a building opportunity for Manuel Torres. If you're starching Grant Dawson like I predicted, and you're doing that very easily, Dariush doesn't stand a chance, man. If you're getting dropped by Renato Moicano, this is horrible. This is horrible, man. This is one of those matchups where, like, Dariush is helpless, and people go, well, if Dariush could get the takedowns, he's not getting any takedowns. He's just not. And even if he takes down Torres, he'll pop right back up. We've seen the UFC do this. We saw when they gave Torres Grant Dawson. We saw this when they gave Morales Sean Brady. When there's a grappling-based guy that's, they're solid. They've racked up some good wins. They're not someone the UFC really deems as an exciting guy per se, or someone that they ideally want to be the champion. They give them this up-and-coming, big, strong, athletic dude that can kind of negate what they do well and knock them out and get them out of the picture. And also, in the process, build this young, exciting guy, right? That's literally what this is. Again, when they did Morales versus Brady, I was like, Morales is going to knock out Brady. He's a my player. He's got the attributes. He's just a freak, man. Right, and then they did Torres versus Dawson. I'm like, it's the same thing. And now here we are, again, the same kind of formula that I think the UFC is going off of. Manuel Torres is going to brutally KO Beneil Dariush in the first round. And I know that Torres can get a little wild, so maybe, Dariush can get in on his hips and take him down, but Torres is a far better striker than Benoit Saint-Denis. And I know Saint-Denis, he's rattling off the wins and he's looked really good, but I mean, come on, man. Torres is going to destroy him. I feel bad for Benny in a way, man. And why is Dariush, like, I get it. Like, you're in the rankings and you just kind of fight the next man up, but I feel like his team should look out for him a little more than this. And maybe this is one of those fights where it feels like it's so one-sided that Dariush somehow pulls it off, but very slim chances, man. And I know that I've been saying, look, I picked Dariush against Moicano, and outside of getting dropped in the first round, he was winning the first round, and then he dominated Moicano on the ground in rounds 2 and 3. So it's a fight, you never know, but this just feels like a complete setup to continue to build Manuel Torres, and I think he goes out there and runs over Dariush, man. And again, I don't know what Dariush did, man. The UFC, a guy that was on a crazy win streak, never got his title shot, and he's never getting it, obviously, these days, man. I mean, what a murderer's row that he has fought. Arman Tsarukyan, Charles Oliveira, like, the list keeps going on, man. I feel kind of bad for Dariush in a sense. This is a bad matchup for him. He's getting knocked out in the first round. All right, so we'll wrap up the video with this. So, Mr. Shama, huh? Adesanya. Alex Pereira is moving up to the heavyweight division, and he's looking to become a triple champion, the first to ever do it. And if there's ever a guy that deserves the opportunity, it's Pereira. Now, I'm of the mind when you're going to move up weight classes, you should, obviously, if you win the belt, you should defend the belt or at least attempt to defend it, which is exactly what Poatan did, right? Beat Adesanya, gave him the rematch, didn't get it done, but we knew the weight cuts were a problem. It was very, very clear. Obviously, he was struggling to make weight, but again, It was coming into the UFC, all the history with Adesanya was like, we just got to get him to Adesanya. But how about the resume? Knocking out Adesanya, that crazy come from behind victory, man. And who knows if he loses that fight, I still think Poatan's a big star, but it's amazing, man, how the stars have aligned. Right? Knocks out Mihailidis, beats Bruno Silva. And it's like, how did he not finish Bruno Silva? Right? That's kind of crazy. Right? And then it's like, well, what's going on? And then he goes out and knocks out Sean Strickland. How amazing of a win that is. Right? And then at 205, he's been beating everybody outside of that loss to Ankalaev the first time, and clearly he was compromised. Comes back and runs him over in the rematch. Now he moves up to heavyweight, and I think he's going to become the first triple champion, man, and he's going to be one of the top. He's already one of the top fighters of all time. I got to make a GOAT list video at some point, man, but I'm telling you right now, at least another one, an updated one, and I'm telling you, Poatan Pereira, he's one of the best ever. He's one of the best ever, man. I mean, his resume is insane. Beating Khalil Roundtree, Ankalaev. I mean, he's got some great names on there. Jiri Prochazka twice. Like, dude, this dude's a savage, man. He's an absolute savage. And so basically the matchups are going to be, Aspinall's, he got poked in the eyes against Gane. We don't know when he's back. I mean, could they surprise us and, Aspinall comes back and ends up fighting Pereira for the time? Maybe, but I don't know about that. So realistically, what we're probably looking at is maybe they have Aspinall vacate the belt and then they do Pereira versus, Jones, right? That'd be a big fight. Or they do Pereira versus Gane. To me, those are probably the matchups that they are looking at. So we're probably looking at Pereira versus Gane, Pereira versus Jones. Either way, I think it's pretty likely that the UFC, I don't know that they're going to do that for an interim belt, man, because given the fact that it's a massive fight, Poatan, biggest name, one of the biggest names in the sport. He's a superstar. They're not going to have him fight for an interim belt. I don't think so, especially when you're trying to go for triple gold. I think that they ask Aspinall to vacate the title unless they surprise us and Aspinall's ready to go, and which I don't know about that. I think Pereira beats any one of these guys, man. I think he beats Jones. I think he beats Aspinall, and I think he beats Gane. Now, again, the most intriguing stylistic matchup to me, I've always said, even when Pereira was at 185, I was saying this guy will fight at heavyweight someday. Him versus Gane is an amazing stylistic matchup. The only problem I have with that is we're rewarding Gane, and people are like, whoa, if he gets knocked out, it's not a reward, but you're still rewarding Gane with the opportunity to be in there with one of the biggest names we've had in the history of the sport in Pereira after you just gouged Tom Aspinall in the eyeballs. So that's where I'm like, that's not particularly fair, but in terms of the stylistic matchup, like, sign me up. That's an amazing stylistic fight. Gane does not move like a heavyweight, right? He moves very, very well for a big dude. He's in great shape. He's a great athlete. He's a high-level striker. I think Pereira would knock him out, though. The calf kicks, the body kicks, I think Pereira would walk him into something, man, and I think that he's going to be a serious problem at heavyweight. Now, I will say, I think Gane would probably still be a little bit faster than him, but the one thing about Pereira, he doesn't telegraph those kicks, and that left hook can put... I've been saying it for so long. If you've been watching my channel since I started it, Pereira's power can translate to any weight class. He can knock out anybody in the world. His power is that devastating. And I think he knocks out Ciryl Gane. I think he could... Jon Jones, man, I don't even know if Jones is going to fight, honestly, right? He was talking about the whole hip situation, watching him in that NFL... I don't know what that was, that little flag football... I mean, he doesn't... I don't know, man. Jones isn't moving very well. It sounds like he's got some issues going on in terms of the hip or whatever it is. So, I feel like that's why Jones was so hesitant to come back, right? So all that makes sense now. And I think that guy, I mean, that was kind of foul, right? Had the meta glasses on and then kind of aired that out. That was kind of messed up. Jones, I don't know why Jones would share that with him anyway, because someone could have just, but at the end of the day, like, I don't know if Jones is coming back. But again, if it's at the White House, John said that he's interested in that to be a massive, massive fight, Pereira versus Jones. There'd be a lot of legacy there. Again, Jones's ground game is really good, so that could be troubling for Pereira. But we've seen Alex has gotten much better with the takedown defense, man. And I don't know that anybody in the UFC can outstrike this guy on the feet at heavyweight at least, right? Maybe Gane, right? We saw Ankalaev do it, and again, it was pretty clear that Poatan was not himself in that fight. Just realized I just got to pressure the heck out of him, take away the space. That's what he did. Ankalaev, people don't give him enough credit, man. He's a very technical striker, right? And he could mix in the takedowns, but once Pereira realized, hey, my takedown defense is good enough and he was healthy, he just went out there and blitzed right through him, man. So I think Pereira knocks out Gane. I think he knocks out Tom Aspinall, and then I honestly think that he could beat Jon Jones, given the fact that John's older. I don't know, and it's kind of funny now because seeing what we've seen, Jon ran over Gane. I would probably lean towards Jon, possibly over Aspinall. Again, it's not getting knocked out in that first round, but Jon's ground game is really good, man. People forget, man, Jon Jones is a very high-level grappler. So, but I would lean Pereira to beat any of these guys, man. I think he's going to become a triple champ and cement himself as one of the top fighters of all time. So an exciting time in the UFC, man, but this card right here, I mean, this is what a numbered card should look like. Stacked. The prelims are loaded, man. I mean, obviously not like, whoa, top contenders and all the weight classes, but the stylistic matchups are really, really good. And Mirzakhanov versus Costa, to me, should be on the main card. Not that it necessarily, I guess, matters too much now that it's on Paramount and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, the main event, banger, co-main event, banger. Hokit, I love seeing, a hyped up guy get thrown into the Shark Tank. And then Torres, it's probably going to be a highlight reel KO for him. And Reyes, Walker, someone's getting knocked out. Heck, maybe we see a double knockout in that fight. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, give it a like. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you do not miss an upload. I would greatly appreciate it. I'll see you next time.